Hi guys, welcome back to Movie Recap. Today I bring to you another wonderful recap episode of another interesting movie. We are going to be looking at The Waitress, a 2007 bittersweet love story of a waitress who couldn't find love in her marriage. Before we continue, kindly like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comments. The movie begins with Jenna and her two other waitress friends, Becky and Dawn, hoping the pregnancy test indicator with Jenna turn out positive. What is supposed to be joyous news turns out to be disappointing news for Jenna. She is pregnant with her husband's baby. She doesn't want the baby because she wants to run away from her husband. Why? Let's find out. She tells Becky and Dawn that she doesn't want to tell her husband about the pregnancy, and if things go her way and she escapes from him in a few months, then he doesn't have to know about it. Becky and Dawn talk about their own problems, but they tell Jenna they wouldn't wish to be in her situation at that particular moment. Just how bad can Jenna's relationship with her husband be? Just as they were discussing right outside of their Pie's restaurant, Jenna's husband, Earl, came blazing his car horn. You could tell Jenna isn't happy to see him. Earl asks her for the money she made for the day and also forces her to give him a kiss. He tells her about his day, but Jenna is lost in her thoughts thinking about inventing a new pie. Whenever she is really in a bad mood, she thinks about making a new pie. Earl notices she isn't listening and gets annoyed. He makes her apologize to him on the condition that he won't let her out of the car if she doesn't apologize. Now we know why Jenna isn't happy about having his baby. At dinner, Jenna asks Earl if she can borrow some money from him, but his answer to that is no. The next day, Jenna goes to the hospital for a pregnancy test. She needs that confirmation to be really sure she is pregnant. She is disappointed not to meet Lily Mueller, her favorite doctor, because she is semi-retired, but instead Dr. Jim Pomatter is there to attend to her. She tells him not to congratulate her on her pregnancy. After the test has been completed, she gives him the pie she had brought along for Dr. Lily. Jim gives her a prescription and also tells her she is 6 weeks pregnant at her request. Back at the pie shop, Becky asks Jenna to attend to Joe, the owner of the pie shop, on her behalf. Joe tells Jenna his order, and before she leaves to get it, he reads her Aquarius horoscope for that day. Earl calls Jenna to tell her he won't be coming to pick her up in the night. Meanwhile, Dawn has a 5-minute blind date later that night and informs Jenna ahead that she wants her to do her makeup for her and also prepare her favorite love pie. After work, Jenna does the makeup for Dawn. Becky declines Jenna's request to drive her own because she has somewhere else to be. At the bus stop, Dr. Jim meets Jenna waiting to catch a bus. He complimented the pie she gave him the other day at the hospital. Jenna notices he has a wedding ring on his finger as they were chatting. Back at home, Earl begs Jenna to have intercourse with him. She declines at first before giving in to his desire. You could tell from her face that she didn't enjoy it one bit. The next day at the pie shop, a guy comes looking for Dawn with flowers. He is the guy she had a 5-minute date with the other night. She tries as much as possible to avoid him, but she ends up attending to him. Orgies. His name tells her he likes her and he will keep coming back till she agrees to be his wife. He sings her a poem, but Dawn subconsciously screams at the top of her voice that she wishes he'd die. Jenna books an appointment with Dr. Jim for the next day on a phone call as she complains to him that she bleeds a little. The next morning, Jenna goes to the hospital to meet Dr. Jim. After examining her, he tells her there is nothing wrong with her and it is just a sign of early pregnancy symptoms. Jenna gets mad because he had her come over very early just to tell her it is just a sign of early pregnancy symptoms. As she leaves the hospital angrily, she remembers she left her purse in Jim's office. Just as she is about to go pick it up, Jim brings it to her, and all of a sudden, Jenna kisses him out of nowhere. They kiss for a while again before Jenna stops. Jim drives Jenna to the pie shop and agrees with her that the kiss never happened. At the pie shop, Becky and Dawn give a book to read as a gift. Jenna asks them if they know a place where she can sell her baby for money. She tells them she isn't feeling any affection for it. Both Jenna and Dawn leave her as they don't want to entertain the discussion. The next day, Jenna packs her stuff in a suitcase and leaves the house. Just as she is writing a letter to her baby in the book Becky and Dawn gave to her, Earl drives to where she is and hits her on her face. He hits her more in the car before Jenna tells him she is pregnant. Back at the house, Earl tells her he won't ask her to get rid of the baby, but she must not love the baby more than him. Does he even know she has no affection for the baby? She goes to the hospital the next day for an ultrasound checkup. She gets involved in another intimate kiss with Jim in the ultrasound room. Jim asks her to come for another meeting with him on Friday. The next meeting with Jim yielded another intimate kiss in his office. Dam tells Becky and Jenna that she now has a boyfriend. They are surprised to hear that Orgy, the guy she yelled at the other day, is the boyfriend. Jenna catches Cal and Becky making out in the kitchen as she walks in to take her order. As Jenna tries to talk Becky out of the relationship she is having with Cal, Dawn comes to tell her a man is asking for her. The man turns out to be Jim, and Jenna uses the opportunity to tell him that she is ending her affair with him. At night, Earl tries to get intimate with Jenna, but she turns him down. With Jenna's belly now protruding and getting big, Jim visits her at her house just after he watches her husband leave. Jim tells her he wants to learn how to prepare pie from her. They spend the next couple of days making pie at Jenna's house and also getting romantic and intimate with each other. Ogie and Dawn get married at the pie shop, and just as Joe and Jenna are having a dance just like the others, Earl bursts inside raging in anger. He tells Jenna to meet him in the car in 30 seconds. He drags her to the house and asks her to explain why she is hiding money in every part of the house. Jenna tells him she is saving up so she can buy some nice things for the baby. She can't tell him she is saving money so she can run away from him. The next day, Earl buys a lot of baby stuff with the money and uses the change left over to get a video camera. Jenna's lie has ruined her plan to start a new life with the money she is saving up. At the hospital, Jim tells Jenna to wait for him outside as he wants to take her someplace. Jenna's water broke as she was waiting outside. Her delivery time is due. Before she moves into the operating room, Joe visits her. He is also admitted to the hospital because he needs to do liver surgery. He gives her a card and asks her to check it after her delivery. Jenna's delivery is successful as she gives birth to a baby girl. As she holds her baby in her arms, she feels affection toward her. She has a change of heart. Jenna tells Earl she wants a divorce, and as he tries to cause a scene, Jim and some other doctor drags him out. She names the baby Lulu. The next day, Dawn and Becky come to visit her and they tell her about Joe's poor condition and how he is now in a coma. She then recalls the card Joe gave her. She checks it and discovers a check and a drawing of herself inside. As she leaves the hospital, she ends her relationship with Jim. She goes for the pie contest and wins it. With the money she got from the contest and from Joe, she is able to start her own, Lulu's Pie, restaurant. Here comes the end of The Waitress. Hope you had a good time listening. Do you think Jenna was right to cheat on her husband when she is yet to divorce him? Leave your opinion in the comment section, and also don't forget to like and subscribe.